Now, have you ever had a once very humble child who all of a sudden turned rebellious because he or she has started experimenting with hard drugs? The Office of the Surgeon General of the United States carried out a survey sometime in 2018, and they found that about 10% of American households have been torn apart due to the fact that their kids started experimenting with drugs. Good news is there are arrays of supports out there that can be employed to help these kids come out of it. Now, if you have ever, any time in the past in your life, helped any kid whatsoever in any way who have been struggling with drugs, I want you to consider yourself a hero. You are not different from other people who are saving lives out there. As a trained psychologist with over 17 years experience in guidance and counseling, I have worked with over 1,000 youths, both in America and outside of America. And I can tell you that I've actually helped a lot of them out of this situation, out of the craving for drugs at the very early age. Today, I'm going to be showing you different steps, different methodologies that can help in the fight against this menace. One, we'll have to find out the history of drug abuse in America. Two, we have to look into research-based steps that have been proven to be very effective in the fight against drug and substance abuse. Three, we will be talking about the steps that family members of kids who have gotten involved with drug and substance abuse, the steps that they are expected to take, the roles they're expected to play to help these kids. Now, drug abuse started a long time ago in America. Let's start from in the 1960s. Drugs like LCD, cocaine, marijuana became prominent just in the 1960s. But before then, in the 1800s, there are drugs like morphine, lauderdale. But then those drugs were used for good purposes. They were used for painkilling. They were used for curatives generally, just to treat people from all kinds of sicknesses. They were also used for spiritual purposes. Religious and traditional people use them for spiritual purposes. But these days, people use drugs for negative reasons. The drugs of then are natural, pure. They were not mixed and all of that. The drugs of today are mixed up, and that's why they are being abused. Kids use them for social glorification and just to be accepted. Then let's talk about the proven research-based methods that has been in existence for quite a while. Now, there are two steps, and this was actually carried out. It was actually research that was carried out by the National Institute of Drug Abuse in America, NIDA, sometime in 2017. It was published in San Francisco by a newspaper called The Herald. This research came out with two steps. The steps have sub-steps, which are actually aimed at helping children come out of drug abuse. The first step is what is called the risk factor. The risk factor is a step that comprises of other factors like the environment where the child lives, the circle of friends that the child has, and the people that influences this child, like the people they adore, like superstars and celebrities. The second step is what is called the protective step. The protective step is what is done to help that child not falling a victim of these factors in the first step, like not being a victim of what you see on TV, not being a victim of what you see on the street, not being a victim of what your friends do. That is the second factor, and that is very important. So let's talk about the third point. The third point is very, very important. The third point is the role that family members and guardians are expected to play in the life of that child if a child finds him or herself in that situation. Now, I read a book called My Mom, My Best Friend. It was written by an author called Teresa Stein in 2018. She said, and I quote, "The mother is the best teacher of a child." And she's very right. So the role of family members of any child who have started experimenting with drugs cannot be overemphasized. You have to love that child. You can't love that child less. As a matter of fact, you have to give your time to that child. You have to make sure that you treat that child in a way that the child is going to feel very belonged. You have to help that child go through that situation and come out of it. Create more time, use love and appreciation to make sure that that child comes out of that situation. So, that being said, we have been able to discuss 3 very important steps that can be applied to help a child come out of this situation. They are: 1, we learned the history of drug abuse in America. 2, we talked about research-based methodologies that are out there that can be followed in order to help curb this menace. And finally, we talked about the very important role of family members and guardians in the life of any child who find himself or herself doing drugs at an early age. Like I said before, there are arrays of opportunities out there that can be applied to help a child come out of this situation. Drug abuse is a very serious thing in America. It has eaten deep into the fabrics of the society. So anything you can do, anything we can do to help children come out of this is absolutely very, very, very important right now. So I will urge you to go out there, help a child, any child, help them come out of it. And as you do that, you are doing a very patriotic job to this nation. Thank you. God bless you.